Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all of your sports books and track all of your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You can also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as they're the best account on the platform. Head to the App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire to download the app.
Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Breakfast Bankroll for Thursday, January 4th, 2023, our weekly spot with the legend, the local legend, I like to say Content King, Sports Wagering King, Julian Edlow from DraftKings, from DK Sportsbook. As we talk locals, we talk the sports betting market through the eyes of Julian and the DraftKings Sportsbook. But before we bring him on, shout out to our proud new sponsorship with WagerWire, logo right up in the top corner. If you have not downloaded the app, shame on you. That was supposed to be done at the end of December. Run on over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. Start tracking those bets. Start tracking your ROI, and scroll down to the bottom of the page. Start downloading some of these sports books, maybe like DraftKings, and take advantage of their match bets, their promos, etc. Start window shopping, as we like to say. Why pay minus 128 when you can go to DraftKings and get it for minus 118? Those $10, or as we like to say, 10 cents, add up over a day, week, month, and of course a year. And if you're looking for a little flash cash, send an email to affiliates at wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Travis, Zach, the rest of that team and community will take great care of you, I promise. So without further ado, let's bring in the legend himself, the one and only Mr. Julian Edlow.
What's up, Jeff? How we doing?
Happy New Year, Jules.
Happy New Year. What a start to 2024.
Well, especially, back home, as we were talking backstage, get a nor'easter coming up. Again, Euro.
So exciting.
Yes, Euro this, Geo this, blah, 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 blah. That's all I know for me on the Cape, about 45 minutes to an hour from you. It sounds like a slushy mess.
Yeah, I'm hoping to maybe, I don't know, it's going to be a tough Sunday. Here's my plug for my show, The Sweat, weekends, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on DraftKings Network, VSiN, Twitter, you'll find it. But the show must go on. So this is going overnight Saturday into Sunday. I'll either be in a hotel in Back Bay or plowing my driveway at 4 a.m. So I don't know. The only way that this can level out, if it's as bad as they say, I'll just be betting the Patriots Jets first half under massive and pay myself back for all this mayhem that is going to be going on over the weekend.
Well, if I was a betting man, wink, wink, I would say you end up in the hotel Saturday. That is the safest play because, again, Saturday night into Sunday when it's going to be crazy. And as you said, the show must go on unless you have DraftKings snowshoes or something like that, because navigating the city streets in a mess like that, forget about it.
I mean, there's no better time no faster time for me to get to work than Sunday morning. Fly right in there. Nobody's up at 5:30, 6 a.m. driving into Boston.
I usually have the backdrop high above courtside for the Celtics, which obviously we're going to get to. But right here, I'm at Gillette. Um, a lot of topics that we could spend the whole show here, and I wouldn't want to do that to our watchers and listeners about the Patriots. So many questions to be asked. It's not even Patriots versus the Jets. Patriots -2, 2.5, whatever it is. Nor'easter coming in. It's the thought: is this Bills' last game? The narrative very simply was after they lost to the Colts in Germany and were 1-8. Bob Mr. Kraft had enough. You win a few games, your offense looks a little different. No Mac, now Zappy, and then Mayo's done a hell of a job. Get us, before we dig into the meat and potatoes, your initial thoughts about Sunday.
I like the Patriots on Sunday. They consistently beat the pulp out of the Jets. We're getting a lot of Belichick's last game narrative. I don't care about that. We don't know if it's Belichick's last game. No team in the NFL has, as many players as the Patriots on deals that expire at the end of this year. These players are playing for themselves. That's why they're playing well down the stretch. They're playing well for their money, for their financial well-being moving forward. So they should continue to do well in this game. We've seen they're not concerned about winning games and draft position and whatnot. They win in Denver. They play Buffalo tough. I think the Patriots are playing a lot better than the Jets right now. They're at home. It's a team they own, and we're going to have obviously terrible conditions. As we get closer to the game, that's when I'll start to look. I like to bet first half unders rather than the full game unders generally, especially if it's going to be bad early. So whatever it is, it would probably be 14.5, 15.5. I would look for that. And the Patriots. I think that the Patriots are going to, I say show up on Sunday. That probably means win like 10-3. But given the, what this game is, that I guess that qualifies.
Yeah, and you said the real narrative. I mean, is this we're playing for Bill? We're going to win this game. We're going to pick them up, put them on our shoulders, and have a Rudy moment. I was on Fox Sports Radio 2 weeks ago with Bernie Fratto, and I used the phrase "cold feet," meaning the locals. Tom E. Curran and a few others. This deal was done. It's over. We're going to move Mayo in, and we're going to start fresh. We're going to rip off the Band-Aid. And now, the win in Pittsburgh, the win in Denver, the favorite, they're supposed to beat the Jets. It's almost like they're going to have that sit down, whether it's Monday or Tuesday. Julian, I'm going to say you're Bob Kraft. You've seen 2 decades. You've seen 6 Super Bowls. You've seen Tom get pushed out and win a Super Bowl. You're Bob Kraft. What are you doing?
I would do what Bill Belichick did for the last 25 years and move on a year early rather than a year too late. Belichick's a fine coach. I do subscribe to the thought of, everybody wants to get rid of their coach. There's all these coaches are terrible. Like what we saw on Saturday night with McCarthy and Campbell, and those are Campbell's one of the favorites to win Coach of the Year. So the coaching isn't good in the NFL. I don't think you're going to necessarily find somebody better. But in Belichick, right away at least. But in Belichick's case, if you want to move on to the next, chapter of this franchise, you gotta make the move at some point. Who's the next young coach going to be? How are we going to, build this team? So, for me, generally speaking, if you have a good coach, I think it's good to hold on to them because you're not going to find something better. In this instance, it's more of a next chapter. It just signifies moving forward and rebuilding and doing different things. So for that reason, I would do exactly what Bill did for years and make the move earlier rather than later.
I've been rooting for this next guy I'm going to bring up for years as Bill's replacement. And rumor is Mayo just isn't, Gronk even came out this week on Kay Adams and said he's not even a DC yet, that he's just not ready. Is it coincidence that the news has come out this week about Mike Vrabel having problems upstairs and potentially he's coaching his last game, and that Mike Vrabel might be available as of as early as Monday morning?
Yeah, I'm sure that's somebody that the Patriots would be interested in. This is exactly the scenario I'm talking about when I spoke about Bill. Bill's been here for so long that eventually you're going to have to move on. Mike Vrabel, if you're Tennessee, why in the world would you move on from Mike Vrabel? You have a good coach that you've had some success with. If you move on from him, that means you have to hire somebody else. Who are you going to hire? Who wants the Tennessee Titans coaching job? Out of the big names that are out there, there's other the Chargers, the Raiders. Like, there's other bigger name organizations that are going to get the top candidates. If you move on from Mike Vrabel, you're not getting anybody good. So I would be surprised to see Mike Vrabel available, put it that way. If he was available and I'm Bob Kraft, then yeah, I'm absolutely interested.
I have to laugh at this. You and I in August, whether it was here, whether it's Sports Map Radio, we were all in on UW. We were all in on Michael Penix Jr. We talked about him. We talked about him a year, 2 years ago when he played for Indiana. And leading up to the game on Monday, number 1 pick, Caleb Williams. Number 2 pick, Drake May. Number 3 pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. And then, we talk about Alt, a few other players. And then is Jaden Daniels going to be the third quarterback taken? And then following social media, Julian, everyone, oh my God, who's this Michael Penix Jr.? It's like they've never watched the Pac-12, never mind watched him. Rumor has it he might be the third pick overall.
Yeah, a little annoying. And of course, that was a late night game as well. People just stayed up to watch it because it was such a big game. Little annoying that people didn't catch on early enough. Maybe cost me my Penix Jr. Heisman ticket, which I had a Penix Heisman ticket. I don't have a Washington to win it all ticket. And now, that's irking me a little bit because, like you said, we were on to this one, had the win total over 9, had them to win the Pac-12, and had Penix to win the Heisman, which I feel should have cashed. But instead, here we are 14-0 in the Natty, and I have no 50-1, 60-1, 100-1 tickets on this team. Penix might be the most NFL-ready quarterback in this draft. He plays behind a good offensive line. That unit won the best O-line in the nation, and he has NFL-caliber receivers, obviously. So, just like everybody, if you plug him into the Panthers, like, it's not going to be pretty. I don't think he's going to be as bad as Bryce Young, but it's not going to be pretty. If he does wind up going, say, like where Mac Jones went, 15th to a solid organization, he could be really good right away. So the injury history and his age are going to cost him in the draft. If I'm a team, right around the back end of the top 10 or whatever, I'm going to start looking at him if I think I have a team ready for him to plug and play, because he's a terrific quarterback, and I think will play well right away. And so then his age doesn't concern me all of a sudden if I'm getting somebody that I don't have to polish before I put him in there. So I think he's going to be good. Third quarterback off the board, maybe. It depends. Caleb Williams and Drake May could go off the board fast, and then we could get into the teams, and we're talking about Jaden Daniels versus Penix. So I don't know about his draft stock necessarily, but I think he has the potential to be a very good NFL quarterback right away in the right situation.
The announcer dropping dimes. I mean, he was dropping dimes. I said very simply, the key to success in this game was simple. If Texas puts pressure on Penix Jr., they're going to win the game. If you allow this guy to drop dimes to NFL stud wide receivers, one on both sides. Actually, they got 3 stud wide receivers that will be playing in the NFL. Just making catches. And I'm going to go back. You brought up Mac Jones, because I remember Mac Jones, his last year at Alabama. I remember him throwing to Jerry Jeudy and other track stars and other NFL wide receivers. He comes to New England. and the cupboard is bare. So like you said, if you think it's plug and play, Patriots take Michael Penix Jr., Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, Thornton, the list, there's no one there to make those plays.
Yeah, no, I'll stick to the same take I've had all year on the Patriots. They can look for a quarterback in this draft, but they can't play that quarterback until the offensive line is there and some weapons are there. So the quarterback is the third issue for the Patriots. It's the offensive line and it's the pass catchers. I mean, the tight ends are fine. So I'll say it's the offensive line and the wide receivers that need to be addressed before you can plug a kid in there. Otherwise, you're going to be setting them up for failure.
I'm going to transition to the parquet and the Celtics. I was working with Anthony on Tuesday this week. We were watching the Celtics OKC game. Man, that Thunder is an amazing team. Young, youthful. Beat the Celtics in a hard-fought, high-scoring game. Thoughts where the Celtics are today and the start of the new year first?
I don't think that game is changes my opinion at all of the Celtics. I think they are who they are. They lost a game to a really good team, a regular season game to a really good team on the road. I think they're in fine position. And, I've given you boring takes on the Celtics each year that we've done this. Celtics success is all going to be about having their starting five healthy in the postseason. And that's not going to change. So it'll be exciting to see if they get anybody at the deadline, if they acquire a buyout, whatever. You can always use more depth, but generally speaking, that depth isn't going to be enough if they don't have that top five. So you want the depth behind the top five, but you need the top five. Porzingis can't get hurt, and you can't just plug Al Horford in and think it's going to go okay. So if they have those guys, I'll take them to beat anybody in a 7-game series. That game spoke more to me about the Thunder. It legitimized them a little bit. And I know it's a regular season game, but it was both teams, neither on a back-to-back, both playing all their guys, and OKC looked fantastic. So now, young team, they go on the road to Atlanta the next night and lose. Getting a big hole early, come back, almost win. But it shows the ceiling that this team has, and I think they're like 9th on the odds board. They're too low. They can make noise. East has some elite teams at the top that I would favor to win it all. The West, I think, has a bunch of really good teams that could get in. The Clippers, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Wolves. And this OKC team is right in that mix of one of those teams that can win the West.
And I agree 1,000% with you. I was talking about, I think OKC at like 20-1 or something like that to win it all, but you can get them at like 9-1 maybe to win the West, which is, an auto play. Add that to your portfolio, even if it's pizza and beer money. You talked about the Wolves, obviously Denver, NBA champs. Will they be able to flip the switch? Lakers and Suns, injuries, yada, yada, yada. Dallas, Luka, and then, of course, Kyrie. But and then I bring up this every week. I know we're not buying stock on the Clippers because we got to wait till the playoffs, obviously, to see who's playing, who's not playing. Any swings with New Orleans and hope that, maybe Zion stays healthy and can shed a few pounds, or is that just a wasted effort?
Feel the same about both the Pelicans and the Clippers. The Clippers are the better of the two teams. I had the Clippers last night against the Suns. They covered. And again, the Clippers are showing us something. If they're playing this way in April and Kawhi is healthy, I'll consider backing them. But the same goes for the Pelicans. They look really good. But this is right around where we were last year when they were in first place, when the wheels completely fell off and they didn't even go over their win total after sitting number 1 in the West. So got to wait, got to see them be healthy going into the postseason. But the Pelicans are a team I like a lot. They are an NBA best 26-8-1 against the first half spread. I've been backing them like crazy on the first half. They keep coming through. So that's how I'll get my money on this team for now. And then if when the playoffs roll around and they're healthy, start to maybe look at some futures.
Last in the NBA, shocked with the Raptors and Knicks trade.
I don't have too much of a thought on the Raptors-Knicks trade. I understand the Knicks' thought process in trying to get OG. He's a very good wing defender that can help against the very good wings at the teams at the top of the East. But the Knicks weren't going to win anything to begin with, and they're not going to win anything now. And they need offense. So he's an okay scorer, but he more helps you in your perimeter defending. One of the like when the Knicks win a series, one of the things they need is a couple of games of quickly going for 25 off the bench, and they gave that up along with Barrett, who kind of you plug OG into Barrett's minutes. I don't know where that bench scoring is going to come from now for the Knicks, who desperately need scoring. So I don't think it moves them forward much, if at all. And then the Raptors, I don't know. It just depends what you're going to get for these guys, what you're going to get for Siakam, and you didn't get any. I guess Barrett needs to become a piece. Barrett needs to live up to his hype as that number 2 overall pick for them. And then maybe you can flip quickly into something. But that trade didn't move the needle much for me at all.
Before we get into today and this weekend's board and what you have until what your leans are for the last week in the NFL, and of course the championship game that I'm going to ask you a quick couple questions on. How's the college hoops been going now? It's full conference season. A team that was a top not too long ago is struggling. That's in Arizona. A couple Saturdays ago, lose to FAU and then lose by 20 to Stanford, getting up 100. Purdue looks legit, but again, we think back to last year. They did the same thing last year. Number 1 seed in the whole tournament, losing to a 16 seed. How you been doing, and what are your eyes seeing in the college ranks?
I was having a decent season until about a week, 10 days ago, and I've given pretty much all of it back. So not seeing the last week to 10 days too well in college basketball, but we'll figure it out. Arizona maybe gives me a little bit of a UConn vibe. Last year, come out dominant, arguably the most talented team, hit some road bumps, and we'll see where they go. But I'm still high on Arizona. I think they could absolutely win it all. Purdue, I don't know. I've faded Purdue a couple times. I took Maryland with the points at home the other night. And Purdue dominated. Purdue's Edey looks good. Purdue's guards are better. I can't decide if I think that they're just not going to be a tournament team again, or if they're more of the 2019 Virginia team that lost as a 1 seed and comes back just absolutely hell-bent on winning it all. So I'm starting to change my opinion on Purdue and think that they very well could be for real. Not just for real. They're obviously a very good team, but like a tournament contender that isn't going to implode the way that they imploded last year. So yeah, Arizona and Purdue are a couple of teams I'm high on. And Arizona's been the whole way. Purdue is one that I'm more warming up to now. What else is catching my eye in college hoops right now? I just kind of taking it day by day, I guess. I'm not looking at much else in terms of the futures market. But Arizona's a team I'm not going to give up on. I'm not necessarily laying the points with them tonight, but futures wise, I think they're still in fair position.
I love both teams that you talked about in both scenarios. That Virginia team a handful of years ago, number 1 seed, loses to a 16. First one to lose to a 16, come back the next year, win the whole thing. I think it's time to buy Purdue stock now because I don't think they'll lose 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten, but their stock, you're not going to be able to get a lot of fluctuation on their stock. And as the comparison of Arizona and UConn, spot on, and the Final Four is in Arizona. I think Glendale this year.
Right.
So I like that thought as well. So buy low situation maybe right now in Arizona. About 5 minutes left here. Break down the championship game, Jules. Tickets in tow, lanes, what you seeing in the championship game on Monday.
Yeah, Michigan's going to be the pro side. I lean Washington with the points. I think this is more of a coin flip game. They've been underestimated all season. Huge dogs in Vegas, neutral, indoor, Pac-12 game. They dropped 37 on Oregon. in that defense and that team that was power rated like second behind Georgia at the time. Then 34 in that game, then 37 on Texas, neutral field, indoors in a game that they're underdogs. Another neutral field, indoors, priced as underdogs. Lean to the points. I think they have a good chance to win the game if they can protect. Milroe got sacked 6 times for Alabama, but this is a much more polished offensive line, and they'll have a game plan to maybe get the ball out a little quicker. The bet that I've made so far, I did take Washington team total over 24.5. Michigan hasn't given up more than 24 all year. It was 24 to Maryland, 24 to Ohio State, but Ohio State turned it over a couple times. That was outdoors at Michigan. I think indoors, this Washington offense should do what they've done all season. They've scored in these games. The games that Washington hasn't scored, we're talking about 22 points, in Corvallis against the Beavers outdoors. It's raining sideways at night. Like, they don't score when the situation is tougher, when the indoor controlled atmosphere against really good defenses, the Huskies have scored. So I backed it on the team total. That's about as low as you'll find, 24.5 for Washington. I'll buy in on them scoring some points in this game.
Tonight, a couple games in the NBA, obviously a big slate in college hoops, and then the weekend. So before you get bunkered in, or should we say get the snow shovel and everything ready, what do you got tonight and for the rest of the weekend for the watchers and listeners right now?
Yeah. So tonight I laid 2.5 with Denver. I just think they match up well with Golden State in general. And Trace Jackson Davis, who's been playing a lot for the Warriors with Draymond out. I took his under 17.5 points, rebounds, assists. He's been doing really well lately. I've been playing the over on that prop, but the Jokic matchup, last time they played, he played 15 minutes, picked up 5 fouls. Time before that, he went under as well, playing 18 minutes, picked up 4 fouls. I just don't think the rookie can handle this matchup. So those kind of tie in together. Let me see, rest of the week here. I'll ask you, I got this game circled for Friday night, Big East hoops. UConn on the road in the Big East has trouble. I don't love Butler, but what do you think about Butler and UConn on Friday night?
What was your look-ahead line?
It was less than I thought, but that's because of the Klingon injury, right? I think Ken Palm had it 6. Yep. 6 on Ken Palm. And it's in Indy.
Yeah, and just go back to last night when I was doing the closing bell. I said Seton Hall was a live dog, and that was on the road. And Providence had been so good. The thought process in the Big East is simple. You got to win your home games, hope to go 500 on the road. UConn's first road game, the opener at Seton Hall, and lost. I'm gonna get cute here. I say UConn wins, but Butler plus the 6.5 is where I would lean in that game.
I haven't my Maryland's Pitt the other night against UNC. My home dogs against these really good teams have not been doing well. That's where I've been losing my money in the last week. Also Friday night, Illinois just smoked Northwestern. They're without their best player. Now they go to Purdue. I'm not stepping in front of Purdue anytime soon. It's 8. It's a lot, but that's going to be Purdue or pass for me. I think that's where Illinois takes their dip after kind of flying high. Saturday college hoops. Let me see. Clemson hosts UNC. Clemson just lost at Miami. UNC just won at Pitt. Good buy low home spot for Clemson. Kentucky at Florida is a really good one that I don't necessarily have an opinion on yet. Arkansas could use a big win at home. They host Auburn. That's one that I'm going to be looking at these home dogs again. I'm going to be looking there, and we'll see how it goes. I thought there was one more. Creighton hosts Providence. Providence is probably going to be without their best player there. Hopkins got hurt. That number may get out of hand now, but we'll see. Got Creighton circled for that one. Yeah, that takes me through the weekend of college hoops. I won't get to Sunday yet.
Final question before we let you wrap it up, where they're going to find you this weekend. Tell everyone why they should download the DK Sportsbook app.
Plenty of options. We've been getting college hoops games up before anyone this season, so we're setting the market on college hoops. Let's see what we got for promos right now. Obviously, if you don't have DraftKings Sportsbook, you're always going to get a very good sign up bonus when you do decide to join. Right now, it's $150 in bonus bets, and you're getting NBA League Pass for free, so you can watch all those games. Deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Get a 20% deposit bonus of up to $1,000 when you sign up. I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of promos going on for Wild Card Weekend when that gets underway, popping up next week.
And lastly, tell them where to find you. The scroll has been going the whole time, but I like to give you the final say here. Find all your great work, obviously, at Julian Edlow, at DK Sportsbook, at DraftKings, but where you're going to be live this weekend and hopefully not snowed in.
Yep, just follow along on Twitter. Just put out Unreasonable Odds with Joe Osborne from Covers, my podcast, and then weekends, 8 to 10 a.m., The Sweat on DraftKings Network, VSiN, Twitter, Samsung TV, plenty of other places that you can find it. And yes, hopefully Sunday's not bad because I don't feel like dealing with this.
Jules, you're the best. Be safe. Thank you so much. We'll catch up over the weekend, and we'll obviously see you next Thursday.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Have a good one.
You too. Take care. The one and only Julian Edlow, at Julian Edlow, at DraftKings, at DK Sportsbook, at DK Live, Unreasonable Odd Podcasts. I always listen to that. And, of course, Saturday and Sunday, 8 to 10 Eastern Time on The Sweat, DK, VSiN Live, Samsung TV. 1 o'clock, I will be guest with good friend and colleague, Pop DiBiase at Prime Wave Media, talking some college hoops and all the good stuff. 3 o'clock, I will be a guest with Andrew McGinnis at McGinnis Picks at Wager Talk, talking tonight's big slate in the NHL. Then myself and Riley Magnuson will be back here at 4:30 for the closing bell. So from myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, Julian Edlow at DK Sportsbook, at DraftKings, at Julian Edlow. Everyone, have a great morning, and we'll see you real soon. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please jump over there, East Coast Sports Investors. Just subscribe. It's free. Turn on the notifications. And, of course, the WagerWire app. Go to Google Play. Go wherever you download it. Download it. It's free. We're going to begin, hopefully, next week with our power lunches and some other big shows, working together with Travis, Zach, and the rest of his community. Carol Bucks, the ladies, and so many great people over there. I can't wait. So for everyone, have a great morning, and we will see you soon.